Shall we have a clarity on Ashkenazi?
Yeah, I know Ashkenazi.
Right. Yeah, European people.
They are now, but they didn't used to be. They're people that have come from the Middle East to Europe and then gone to Israel when it was created.
That's not Ashkenazi, darling. You have it twisted.
What do you mean?
Right. Ashkenazis is a group of people, European people from Rome and Greek, who converted to Judaism. These are the Ashkenazi. They're majority European people. They are converts and they claim total representation of Jewishness.
BMJ.
You want to have a conversation with me?
Just one.
No. Do you want to have a conversation with me? I'm asking you a question. Do you want to have a?
Can I partake
Sir,
for 1 point?
We're not. I'm asking a question. Can I not ask him a question?
Very rude.
Am I saying?
I got the impression from you talking to my friend that you were actually about the
Am I saying he should not speak?
Sounds like you're making some that he's allowed to say one little
No, I'm
thing.
asking him a
He can say
question.
what he wants.
All right, I heard you. I'm asking you a question. Are you saying to me that I'm denying him the opportunity to have a conversation?
I don't know what you're doing.
Or you don't even know what I'm doing, but you're disagreeing?
It looks quite rude. Whatever you're
No,
doing.
but you're desperate. You sound a little bit desperate.
Desperate for what?
You are desperate.
Fine, he doesn't want one. It's okay.
No, I'm just asking you a question. I ask you a question. Listen, if me and the ladies having a conversation and you want to join the conversation, you're welcome. You can ask and you can join.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong. I just ask you a question. Instead of you imposing yourself on the conversation, I ask you, do you want to join the conversation? In order to join the conversation, do you want a background of what we were speaking about?
I was listening.
You was here and you left. Yeah, you were here and you left.
I moved behind the camera. I'm still listening.
All right, so you're in front of the camera now. You want to have a conversation?
Because I can want it. Yeah.
You want to have a conversation? What are we talking about?
Ashkenazis. Definition
No,
of
that's a late point. That's a late phenomenon.
My point is about the definition of Ashkenazis.
Okay.
You said they come from Rome and they converted to Judaism. The majority of Ashkenazis can trace their lineage back to the Middle East insofar as 40% of Ashkenazis share 4 haplotypes with them. So that means they can trace their lineage back to 4 women in the area pre-Abrahamic times. That means Ashkenazis can trace their lineage back to this land thousands of years ago. That's from the BMJ, the British Medical Journal. That does not mean that they converted in Rome. They can also trace it. Yes, they moved to Europe, but when you say that the Europeans in Israel now, they can trace their lineage back there.
No, 1 minute. Let the gentleman finish.
I'm finished.
Yeah.
That's it.
Sorry?
I'm finished.
Okay.
Sorry for imposing myself.
No, the question is, sorry?
To me, I don't like that scenario where you're having a conversation, I've got the point, and then it's like, no, you're not allowed to. I think that's horrible.
It is horrible, but it is.
Speaker's Corner is about, it doesn't have to be one-to-one, everybody's discussing together. So like I say, I feel I was a bit misled because my friend gave me the impression.
Did the gentleman make his point?
Yeah, that was really helpful.
Did anyone stop him?
You tried to stop him.
Did I try to stop him?
Yeah. You tried to make it seem as though this was an exclusive, that you're in charge of who joins the conversation.
He wanted to make the point to me. Listen, he wanted to make the point to me. He didn't want to make the point to you.
Sorry?
The point he wanted to make was not to you. He wanted to direct his point to me.
Because he knew I
Excuse
didn't
me.
know the answer.
Right.
He had an answer that was helpful to the conversation.
That's why I say you're desperate. You're desperate for help. He didn't want it to make the point to you. He wanted you're desperate for help because you're in a very weak position. The question is he didn't want to make any point to you. He wanted to make the point to me. And if he wants to make a point to me, then I have the opportunity to ask him, do you understand exactly the foundation of the conversation? I allow the gentleman to speak.
Maybe,
Sorry?
What started as just a conversation.
Shalom, Manishma.
Sorry?
Started as a simple conversation. It's just really hostile.
What do you mean hostile? What have I done to you?
It's just, why can't we just have a conversation?
We are having a conversation. When you said to me,
Would you converse with your friend in the way you're conversing with
you are my friend.
I don't feel like...
It's the starting of a friendship.
This is not how I start my friendships.
All right, then you start your conversation. I'll listen to what you have to say.
Well, we started a conversation. We just started
Would you like to have
a
water?
conversation. No, thank you, I've got my own. I'm not condemning condoning what Israel are doing. I don't know what your agenda is. We started by having a conversation about how do we ultimately ever get to the bottom of this. This is a philosophical point, because that's what my friend and I were talking about.
Your friend?
My friend over there, the lady that was with
Oh, okay, yes.
So, and then all of a sudden you're trying to make, I get the sense that I've somehow got to stand here and make the case for Israel or something. And I don't understand where all that's coming from.
No, the only objection I had is that you were saying I didn't want him to speak. That's not true.
Your aggression didn't just start there. I'm talking about you're hectoring me, and that's not conversation.
Okay.
Regarding group, I do feel like if someone wants to contribute to a group, that's absolutely fine. That's the secondary thing. You're hectoring me about 2 minutes into the conversation. You're hectoring me. I'm not killing people in Gaza. You know.
Are you Jewish?
No.
Okay. Do you support Zionism?
Do I think Israel has a right to exist?
No, that's not the question I ask you.
Well, what do you mean by Zionism?
I'm asking you, very crystal clear. You're very intelligent and up to speed with current day issues. Do you support Zionism?
What do you mean by Zionism? Zionism, for some interpretations, means the right for Israel to exist. That's what literally, when you're a Zionist, there is like the idea of Zionists at the top, like the cabal that are running the world, but also someone who believes Israel has a right to exist can call themselves a Zionist.
Right.
So what do you mean?
Well, let me tell you where I stand.
Israel has a right to exist.
I know you were coming with that, so I was about to give you the answer. I believe every human being that is breathing have a right to exist. A criminal, can I finish? A criminal has a right to exist. He has a right to a judicial process and procedures. He has a right to food. He shouldn't be tortured. Every human being that is breathing have a right to exist. Now, we're not talking about the right to exist. But I underloaded that question is, whenever people ask, do you believe Israel have a right to exist? That's a loaded question. And I know what it means. It's loaded because they put you in a position that they think you may either say yes or no. Your yes becomes illegal, because it's illegal to say that. You put yourself under the security radar, and whenever you say yes, you give Israel the legitimacy to exist and do whatever they like. Now,
What makes you say it's illegal?
now,
It's illegal. Hang on, you're saying it's illegal to say that you don't want it to exist?
that's illegal. That's illegal.
Illegal?
Yes, it's illegal to say that.
What
Yes.
is illegal?
You don't know what?
Country is it illegal?
Let me ask you a
It's
question.
illegal in this country to say that Israel doesn't have a right
okay.
to exist.
We-
Because all these people must be breaking the law then.
Well, I would not say the people here is breaking the law, because here has special laws that protect people to say things. Generally, if a person is working for the council or you have a government job and you say publicly Israel does not have a right to exist, you will be released from your job. Number two, you will do you mind if I finish?
I don't mind, but
You-
I disagree.
If you disagree, that's fine. I understand you disagree, and I know you would disagree before I say it. But can I finish?
Jeremy Corbyn,
But do you mind if I finish?
Jeremy Corbyn, for instance, would say,
You don't care for me to finish, are you?
even though you know, go on, carry on.
Yes. So the question you're asking me about Israel having a right to exist, I fully understand that being a loaded question. My answer to you is this: every human being has a right to exist. The babies who are killed right now in Gaza, they have a right to exist. Everybody, a criminal has a right to go to court. And he has a right when he goes to prison to be fed. And when he's in police custody, given all the rights he has. Everybody have a right to exist. But that's not the point. That question is loaded in order to put a person in a compromising position. That's what that question is meant to. Now let me spin the let me spin.
Hang on, and you're saying that I posed the question, so you're saying I posed a question that was loaded. Yeah? That was not my intention. I'm genuinely, innocently asking you, do you feel, from what you're saying, it sounds like you don't feel that the state of Israel does have a right to exist?
No, I never said that, no. You would like me to say that.
No, I don't care what you say. I
No,
don't
you
care.
would want me to say that.
I'm trying to get the fucking answer out.
You want me to say that?
I don't want you to. I'm not
Does Israel have a right to
I'm
exist?
not making this. I
She
don't
asked
care.
me the question, the same question she has asked you. My sister. if you
Everybody,
ask me-
not just Jews.
if you
No,
ask me this-
everybody.
if you ask me that question,
Everybody have a right to
I'll say
exist.
no. Maybe you say
Everybody have a
yes.
right to exist. But the loaded question is that puts you that puts you under the security radar, and if you're working in a public servant, you'll be sacked.
Through the Zionism, okay?
That's the implication.
Maybe
Yeah.
it says yes.
No,
It's
no.
not loaded, is it? It's just a simple
It's not a simple question.
The people who ask that question, the majority of them use it in a loaded way. You may be an exception.
You don't think this guy loads his questions?
Sorry? Sorry?
I said, you load your questions, you've got an agenda. Like I say, you've been hectoring me 5 minutes into this conversation. You don't even know where I stand on this, but you're having a go at me. The idea was we were going to have a polite conversation, but you literally said, I like
Are you unhappy with having a conversation with me?
The way you converse.
Are you unhappy with the way I'm having a conversation?
Yes.
Do you want to have a conversation with the rest of the gentlemen?
Yes.
Right, I'm quite happy to sit back.
South African in apartheid South Africa.
I'm not good with that.
It's all right. If somebody asked you, all right. If somebody asked you, do South African, but keep it nice. The white
Sorry? None of these cameras belong to me.
The white South Africans in the 90s, when the apartheid was still going on. If a white man came to you and said, do the white South Africans in South Africa have a right to exist? Is that not loaded?
We're not talking about the people, we're talking about the state. Should it be run by white people?
The South African white government at the time, do they have a right to exist?
Should it have been a white state? Is that what you're saying?
No, they have a right to exist.
We're not talking about the people, we're talking about the state. So does white South Africa have a right to exist?
Did the state at that time have a right to exist? The apartheid.
That's a hard one because
if you say no,
She understands what the yes knows.
I do understand the
Because you understand the consequence of yes.
Because if you say no, you're
She knows that.
You're racist against white people.
No, it's not racist. Beyond that. No, it's beyond that. It's supporting terrorism. It is supporting. It's not racism. Apartheid has very little to do with race. Apartheid has to do with disempowerment of specific group of people. Now, it's the reason why she is reluctant to answer the question. She knows the consequences of the question. That the yes will apply the same to Israel. That's why she's reluctant. But anybody who is objectively involved in justice will know. Everybody, the world, America, England, the whole world understand apartheid was evil. And apartheid was wrong, and it should not have done all the things, and it should not have get away with all the things it got away with. But you're reluctant to say that. Do you know why you're reluctant?
Right, so can I go back to talking to
sure,
the
no,
gentleman?
yeah,
Right, so I think that's a really good question because literally the Dutch took over Africa, and yet it doesn't take much to see that the way they treated the second-class citizens. So did they legally have a right to be in that place? Then they took it over, they won it in war, but because of the way they acted, most people wouldn't have any problem saying they shouldn't have been there. So, and were there other examples like, are there any other examples where people have taken over and then people have like this?
Why they didn't have two states in South Africa?
Yeah.
Why they didn't have two states? Why in Palestine, what we call Israel, and there's two states?
They didn't have democracy, did they?
Where?
In South Africa.
They had a democracy. They had elections.
They didn't have free elections. Black people
They didn't have free elections. They had democracy. They had elections, and all the global powers of the world were embedded with South Africa at that time.
In Israel, they do have elections, and about 20-25% of Israel has got. I'm not speaking for Israel anyway. I'm not an Israeli, but I'm just to make the
Speaking for them.
No, but I'm
In favor of them.
No, but just to take your point. So in
Have you
Israel,
examined the democracy of Israel?
So in Israel, they have about 20-25% of the people are Arab, and they have full voting rights, as I understand it.
As I understand.
They're pretty much.
But the question is this. Whenever you look at the nature of any apartheid regime, they have some 5 key characteristics. Number 1, they have a history of brutally killing and assassinating people without the right of law. So which means they make themselves lawfully to kill others other than themselves. Secondly, they have a superiority ideology. So we could look at the characteristics, measure it against who the globe has agreed to be apartheid, and then measure that and see whether Israel fit these characteristics. So let us look at the characteristics, the qualities, and the core concepts of an apartheid regime. Apartheid regime has a brutal record of killing men, women, and children indiscriminately, without law, without justice, and without reason.
That's what happened in South Africa.
That's what happened there,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it wrong. Now, what happened? The race issue is to block have to shield them. So apartheid, now look at any regime in the world, and anytime they have a track record of brutally slaughtering people as a state without right, without justice, that carries the consequences just as apartheid. The second thing is the all apartheid regime has a superiority ideology. Look at Israel, it has what? What is the ideology of Israel?
They're better than others. This is a fact. It says it in their scripture.
The president says that, talks about the superiority. In their constitution, on their website, they talk about Israel-Jewish superiority. Look at India,
Israel,
has the same superiority.
Even that chopper who stands over there.
Who?
Even the bloke who stands over here. He doesn't like Netanyahu. The guy
Does what?
The guy, can you not understand me?
No, so I'm not hearing you
the
because
white
somebody
guy.
back is shouting, sorry.
The white guy,
Doesn't
you
like
mean?
The guy who
Netanyahu.
stands here, he doesn't
one
like
is like the
Netanyahu.
Israel and
Netanyahu's a
Palestine.
Yeah.
He's a criminal internationally, that's why. What shall
He
I say one
doesn't
thing?
like Netanyahu. So
you
what, he
mentioned-
can't quote what Netanyahu
No, he's
said.
against Palestinian. He's against resistance defending their land.
He's against Hamas.
No, he's against the PLO.
Against terrorism.
No, he's against the PLO, against Hamas. And then I correct him.
Are you a mother?
Are you a favour of Hamas?
Hold on. Don't you know? This is a loaded question as well.
Yeah, and those Arabs
They're
are
all
not
loaded
like
questions.
Jews.
Listen, this is the kind of questions is okay. If you want to ask me the questions, my dear, my sister or my mother, okay, Hamas, okay, they are Palestinian, regardless whether you know them, and I agree with them or I don't agree with them. Hamas, they are born in Palestine before the state of Israel. Okay, before the creation of Israel. If you're talking about Hamas now and Hamas before and Hamas forefather, they came from that part of the world. Whether I
So
agree
did the
that
IRA, and I don't support them. They
No,
blew, they blew up people in London.
The
way they did it was wrong, but they had a right to defend themselves.
That's wrong.
No, they didn't. They had
No,
a
no.
right to
No,
kill
what I'm
people.
saying is,
people.
I tell you,
They did kill.
In a lawful way.
I tell you something. But if the British, if the English, if the British, they went to Ireland, if the British.
Shall we
If the
move?
British-
Did go to
No,
Ireland?
no. If the British they went to Ireland, I think the Irish they have the right, to defend themselves, regardless in what form they do it is up to them. Okay,
Well,
that is.
my family are Irish, and I don't think that they
No,
should
if they
have-
come here, okay, and they blow, the places, yeah, they are wrong, okay. But if the Zionists, the Israeli, the Jew Zionists, they go to Palestine, Hamas, they have the right to defend themselves because it's their land. Do you understand?
I disagree.
Hamas, they don't.
Forget
No, hold on. Hamas, they didn't. No, the Palestinians, they did not go to. No, brother. No, the Palestinians, they did not go to Ukraine or Poland or Argentina or Romania or Hungary, okay, to kill, the Zionists. The Zionists, they went there.